Just when you thought Tesla Semi was already rewriting the rules of trucking, new leaks suggest that Elon Musk has something even bigger in store. The 2026 Tesla Semi Gen 2 isn't just an update, it's a revolution. From extended range and groundbreaking pricing to mass production finally on the horizon, this could be the moment that transforms freight forever. And yes, Elon Musk may have just confirmed it. Let's dive into the details. According to insider reports, the Tesla Semi Gen 2 is scheduled to roll out in 2026, but this time, it won't be a limited production run. Instead, Tesla is gearing up for true mass production. This marks a pivotal shift. For years, skeptics doubted whether Tesla could ever scale its electric trucking vision. Now, the company is signaling that it's ready to dominate long-haul transport on a global scale. The leaks point to a range boost beyond 600 miles per charge, with advanced battery chemistry rumored to be the secret weapon. This is more than incremental progress. It's a statement. It means fewer stops, lower downtime, and trucking routes that rival diesel efficiency. Imagine crossing the country with only a handful of charging breaks. That's the promise on the table. Now let's talk numbers. The Gen 2 Semi is expected to enter the market at a price tag between $160,000 and $180,000, putting it directly against high-end diesel rigs. At first glance, that might sound steep, but when factoring in fuel savings, lower maintenance, and government incentives, the equation shifts dramatically. Analysts estimate that fleet owners could break even within just a few years, making this truck not just futuristic, but financially. Elon Musk confirmed that Tesla is expanding production capacity specifically for the Semi. Gigafactories in Nevada and Texas are being outfitted to handle larger volumes, while new partnerships for battery supply hint at a scale Tesla has never attempted before. If these leaks hold true, by 2026, we could be witnessing the largest EV trucking rollout in history. But this isn't just about Tesla. The trucking industry is a $1 trillion global giant, and whoever cracks electric freight first could reshape logistics, supply chains, and even geopolitics. With Tesla now pushing for mass adoption, legacy manufacturers, from Daimler to Volvo, will be forced to accelerate their EV timelines or risk being left behind. The Tesla Semi Gen 2 leak paints a future where electric trucks aren't the exception, they're the standard. With longer range, competitive pricing, and mass production finally confirmed, 2026 could mark the year diesel begins its decline. But will Tesla truly deliver on time, or will production challenges slow the revolution? Only time will tell. Behind the curtain of the Tesla Semi Gen 2 lies the real secret weapon, its battery technology. Industry insiders suggest that Tesla's next-generation 4,680 cells are at the heart of this transformation. These cylindrical cells aren't just bigger, they're smarter, offering 5 times more energy, 6 times more power, and a 16% range increase per vehicle. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Tesla is rumored to be working on a mega pack-style adaptation for the Semi, allowing batteries to be modular, swappable, and easier to scale for mass production. If true, this would slash costs while boosting manufacturing speed. Of course, range is only half the battle. The other challenge is charging. That's where Tesla's Megacharger network comes in. Designed specifically for the Semi, these stations can reportedly deliver up to 1 megawatt of power, allowing a truck to recharge up to 70% in just half an hour. The Gen 2 rollout isn't just about the truck. It's about building the energy backbone that supports it. Imagine a future where entire trucking fleets refuel at solar-powered Megacharger hubs, slashing operating costs while cutting emissions to zero. Elon Musk has often said that decarbonizing transport isn't complete until heavy-duty trucking goes electric. Passenger EVs may grab headlines, but freight is the real battlefield, responsible for nearly 25% of global transportation emissions. By bringing the Semi Gen 2 to mass production in 2026, Musk isn't just selling trucks. He's attempting to reshape global logistics, making supply chains cleaner, cheaper, and faster. If Tesla succeeds, every package delivered, every product shipped, and every supply route could run on electrons instead of diesel. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. If Tesla truly succeeds with the Semi Gen 2, the ripple effect could hit one of the world's most powerful industries, the oil giants. Long-haul trucks are among the largest consumers of diesel fuel worldwide. Every fleet that switches to Tesla's all-electric semi represents millions of gallons of diesel demand evaporating. For oil companies, this isn't just a trend, it's a threat. Some analysts warn that if electric trucking scales by the late 2020s, it could erode billions in revenue from the petroleum sector. And that's why the Gen 2 Semi isn't just an engineering project. It's a disruption machine aimed squarely at fossil fuel dominance. Governments, too, are watching this shift closely. From the European Union to California, strict emission mandates are forcing trucking companies to rethink their strategies. With deadlines looming for net zero freight targets, Tesla's Semi Gen 2 might arrive at exactly the right moment, just as regulators begin penalizing diesel fleets. This alignment of policy and innovation could supercharge adoption, giving Tesla a first-mover advantage that competitors will struggle to match. But it also raises another question. Will government provide the charging infrastructure incentives needed to keep pace with Tesla's vision? Now imagine this on a global scale. Shipping containers arriving at ports are loaded directly onto fleets of Tesla semis, delivering goods across continents without a single drop of diesel. Logistics companies could cut costs dramatically while also marketing themselves as green and sustainable, a powerful edge in today's ESG-driven corporate world. For nations heavily dependent on oil imports, the stakes are even higher. A rapid shift to electric freight could reshape trade balances, reducing reliance on volatile oil markets and strengthening domestic energy independence. The Semi Gen 2, in other words, isn't just a truck, it's a geopolitical tool. Of course, Tesla isn't entering this battlefield alone. The trucking world is already bracing for a revolution, and legacy manufacturers aren't standing still. Daimler has its e-Actros, Volvo is testing the VNR Electric, and China's BYD is rapidly scaling heavy-duty EV production for Asian and European markets. But here's the catch. Most of these trucks top out at 200 to 300 miles of range. For local deliveries, that's fine. But for cross-country hauls, they simply can't compete with Tesla's rumored 600-plus mile Semi Gen 2. Range isn't just a number on a spec sheet. It's the lifeline of logistics. And that's where Tesla seems ready to dominate. Then there are the startups. Names like Nikola, Lion Electric, and even Rivian eyeing the freight sector. Some promise hydrogen fuel cells. Others claim ultra-fast charging. But most of these ventures face a mountain of financial and technical hurdles. Tesla, by contrast, already has the infrastructure, brand trust, and gigafactories to scale. That doesn't make the competition irrelevant. But it does mean Tesla holds a card few others can play, the ability to deliver thousands of trucks, not just prototypes. But even with this edge, there's a looming question. Can Tesla actually produce at scale? History shows that Musk's most ambitious projects often face production hell, from the Model 3 ramp up to the Cybertruck delays. Battery supply chains remain fragile, and the Semi Gen 2 would demand massive volumes of 4,680 cells, competing with Tesla's own cars and energy storage products. If Tesla can't overcome these bottlenecks, the dream of mass electrified freight could stall before it even begins, and competitors will be waiting to pounce on any delay. Even before the Gen 2 announcement, Tesla had begun handing over its first-generation semis to early customers. PepsiCo, Walmart, and FedEx were among the pioneers testing these futuristic rigs in real-world operations. PepsiCo reported that its semis were handling daily 400-mile routes with surprising reliability, slashing fuel costs and cutting maintenance downtime compared to diesel rigs. Walmart, with one of the world's largest private trucking fleets, has been watching closely, analyzing whether electric freight could reshape its massive distribution empire. For fleet operators, the calculation isn't just about technology, it's about profit margins. Every mile driven matters. With diesel prices volatile and maintenance costs rising, Tesla's pitch is simple. Go electric, and your fleet spends less per mile while meeting sustainability goals. Leaked projections claim the Tesla Semi Gen 2 could lower operating costs to as little as $1.26 per mile, compared to nearly $1.75 for diesel. Over tens of thousands of miles per truck, that difference becomes staggering. Millions saved for large fleets. And then there's the driver's seat. Trucking is grueling work, but Tesla has redesigned the Semi with a central driving position, massive touchscreen displays, and advanced autopilot features. Drivers who've tested it describe the cab as quieter, smoother, and far less stressful than traditional diesel haulers. That human factor, reducing fatigue and improving safety, could make the Semi Gen 2 not just a tool for logistics, but a recruitment weapon in an industry facing a global driver shortage. But Tesla's vision doesn't end with electrification. Elon Musk has hinted at something far more radical: autonomous freight convoys. Picture this: one lead semi piloted by a human with 2, 3, or even 4 additional Tesla semis trailing behind, electronically tethered like a high-tech train on wheels. Using advanced versions of Tesla's full self-driving FSD software, these convoys could drastically cut labor costs, reduce accidents, and make freight movement faster and more efficient than ever before. For trucking companies constantly battling driver shortages, this could be the ultimate solution. Still, the leap from diesel trucking to AI-driven freight raises enormous questions. Can machine intelligence really handle the chaos of highways, weather, and unpredictable human drivers? Tesla insists its Semi-platform is designed with redundant safety systems, multi-layered sensors, and real-time AI learning. But convincing regulators and the public to trust driverless 40-ton machines is another matter entirely. Some insiders believe the Semi Gen 2 could be the testbed that finally proves or disproves Tesla's FSD ambitions on a commercial scale. If autonomous electric convoys become reality, the entire global supply chain could shift overnight. Shipping costs would plunge. Delivery speeds would accelerate. Warehouses could operate with near-perfect efficiency, knowing their fleets run on predictable, optimized electric logistics. It wouldn't just be a technological upgrade. It would be an economic earthquake, rewriting the rules of international trade. Countries that adopt electric autonomous freight early could gain a decisive competitive edge, while others lagging behind could find their industries left in the dust. The rise of the Tesla Semi Gen 2 doesn't just shake industries. It threatens to reshape geopolitics. Nations that rely heavily on exporting oil could face declining demand as fleets around the world pivot toward electricity. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and Venezuela might see billions in revenue erode as diesel's dominance fades. Meanwhile, regions investing in renewable energy and battery supply chains, think China, Europe, and the United States, could gain unprecedented leverage in the global logistics game. Control over lithium, nickel, and cobalt might become as critical as oil once was, igniting a new resource race in the 21st century. Imagine a world where 90% of freight is electrified. Ports in Asia feed their goods into electric truck convoys, powered by massive renewable grids. European nations cut their reliance on imported oil and strengthen domestic industries. The United States, with Tesla at the forefront, exports not just vehicles, but the logistical backbone of a new freight economy. But revolutions never happen without resistance. The diesel industry lobby remains one of the most powerful in the world, with deep ties to governments and regulators. Some lawmakers are already raising concerns about grid strain, job losses, and the risks of putting too much trust in automation. And then there's the trucking culture itself. Millions of drivers whose livelihoods may one day be challenged by fleets of AI-driven semis. The battle over Tesla's Gen 2 Semi won't just be fought in factories and highways. It will be waged in courts, parliaments, and the hearts of workers worldwide. The leaked details of the 2026 Tesla Semi Gen 2 give us a glimpse of a future that feels almost inevitable. A future where heavy-duty transport is clean, quiet, and autonomous. Where nations no longer hinge their economies on the price of oil, but on the availability of batteries and renewable power. But every revolution comes with risk. Tesla faces daunting challenges: battery supply bottlenecks, infrastructure demands, political pushback, and relentless competition. And yet, if history has taught us anything, it's that Elon Musk thrives in the space between the impossible and the inevitable. The Semi Gen 2 isn't just a truck, it's a symbol. A symbol of what happens when technology collides with ambition, when vision dares to challenge an entire industry, and when one company tries to bend the future of freight to its will. So, as the world watches and waits for 2026, one question remains. Will Tesla deliver the revolution as promised, or will the Semi Gen 2 become the company's greatest gamble?